Yo guys, it's Brit coming to you live, and I want to share with you this powerful process where you can heal your relationships and get yourself back into joy. You know, if you're feeling a little bit uncertain or hurt or jealous or whatever is going on in your relationship that's kind of troubling you, if you use this process, I promise you will go back to joy. And in you going back to joy, quite likely the relationship conflict will resolve itself. Okay, so this is actually a process that I created, you guys, almost 2 years ago. And it was when I was going through a particular relationship with a guy who I just could not control, but I loved very deeply, and it brought up all kinds of these feelings. So I ended up actually creating this process. But this is kind of like a condensed version of that process. That process is like about 10 steps, but I'm going to give it to you here. I'm going to give it to you here for free. I should be charging money for this because this is really powerful shit, but this is what I've been guided to talk about today, is this process that I created. So I actually put like all the steps of the process in the title, but I might not remember them exactly as they are. I might mix them up. I might add some new ones, but you'll get the general idea of it, okay? So say hi to me, you guys, if you're on here. Hello, Candace, Jackin. Is that how I say your name? I don't know how to say your name. So say hi to me, you guys. Give me some hearts. Are you ready to hear this process to reawaken joy in your relationships? Or what did I say? Reactivate joy. That's what I said. So I want to just start off by saying first that while we can't change other people, we often don't realize the power of our own mental and emotional state in creating our relationships, okay? Hey, Jay. So we do have a lot more power than we realize, but what I'm going to teach you in this process is how to make yourself feel so good about the relationship that you actually don't care if anything actually changes in the outer form of the relationship, which is actually the last step. So you're bringing in unconditional love and detached acceptance in your relationships, which actually ends up creating the desired outcome that you're wanting in your relationships, okay? So it's funny how that works. It's like whenever we really need things to change, like we're like, oh, this relationship is so painful and I just hate it and I can't deal with the way this person's treating me. Usually we're not in the place to actually affect change in that relationship because we're too needy about it, right? It's the same with money. Like if we're too needy for money, if we're clingy and greedy, the money just goes the other way, right? So I'm going to teach you how to be in this place of detached, unconditional love and acceptance so that you can actually affect the changes in your relationships that you want. So let's start off with step one, you guys. Give me some hearts. Are you here? Say hi to me, you guys. I know there's more people here than you are stating yourself. There's 6 people here. Say hello. Say hello in the comments. Let me say hi to you. This is about healing relationships, and I want to have a relationship with all of you people that are on here. Or if you're watching on the replay too, say hello to me on the replay, you guys. So, hey Christine, what's up, girl? Let's get started. So the first step of this process, okay? This is something I've been doing for a really long time. This is something that people in the spiritual community talk about a lot. I'm going to give you a different perspective on it. So cutting ties with people. Now, when I say this, I don't want you to immediately think that like connecting with other people is negative or that you need to like be afraid of these ties that you have with people. Hey, Kat. So cutting psychic ties or cutting energetic ties with people, the reason why we do this is just to stay strong in our own energy. And here's the thing, like whenever we have like a fearful thought about someone, like or an angry thought about someone, or I've also read like when we have sex with someone, it creates this energetic cord or tie with them, right? And this isn't really necessarily a negative thing, but if you want to stay strong in your own energy and not allow other people's emotions and thoughts and, like their energies to intermingle too much with yours, cutting psychic ties is something that you want to do daily. And this isn't done from like a fearful place of like other people are contaminating you. I don't believe in that. Like, I see a lot of talk from spiritual people that they even say like that you shouldn't have sex with many people because you're taking on their energy or whatever. And I don't subscribe to that, because I personally like love casual sex with people. I think it's awesome, but that's like my own personal perspective. And also I do regularly cut psychic ties with people. So whenever you're having any type of conflict or weirdness or stuckness or anger towards someone, what you want to do first is just cut the psychic tie with the person, okay? And this will help you to release that emotion a lot faster. And sometimes even just doing this one step of cutting psychic ties will affect the change in your relationship that you're wanting. Because sometimes when we're too energetically intermingled with people, it just creates a drain on both parties, and you both end up being kind of bitchy with each other for no reason. And sometimes just cutting the tie will actually heal the entire relationship. So don't underestimate the importance of this step. So the way that you can cut these ties is different for everybody. I mean, there's no like foolproof way, or like there's not one way to do it. I say a prayer for it. I have this prayer book. It's called Instant Healing. It's by Susan Shumsky, and it actually has the psychic tie prayer that I use, and then there's a forgiveness prayer as well, which is the next step that I'm going to teach you guys. You can use that, or if you're a visual person, you can just visualize like if there's a cord between you and another person, and it could be coming from the solar plexus, it could be coming from the heart or the throat, or anywhere, right? You just want to visualize like getting a big sword and just cutting that motherfucker and then sealing it up with light, okay? And that's super easy to do, and you should actually, you feel different. Like, you can do it right now. Like, just imagine that if you have any ties with anybody, okay, like this is an energetic thing, right? We're not talking an actual like rope that's connecting you, but in your energy, in your aura. So just imagine if you have any psychic ties with anyone right now that are no longer serving you, just imagine them all being cut. Just take a big sword and just cut them right now. I'll do it too. Okay? Cut psychic ties. That's the first step, okay? That is the first step to heal your relationships. And you should instantly feel lighter, and you should feel like those things that have been holding you energetically, like those thoughts that you've been having towards other people that are negative, they should release after you do the psychic tie cutting. So start with that, and then you want to bring in forgiveness. So you can say the prayer that I say, or you can just do your own mental prayer and just sort of forgive them, but also ask to be forgiven of anything that you've maybe done, even if you're not aware of it. So here's the thing. We go around and we accidentally hurt people all the time, right? It's just human nature. Especially if you're like me and you have a lot of fire and Aries in your chart, you're gonna naturally just be selfish and say and do things that hurt people without you knowing. So in your forgiveness practice, you want to forgive them for anything that they may or may not have done that has hurt you. And then you want to also ask that you be forgiven of anything that you may have done that you might not even know about, or maybe things that you do know, okay? So there's 2 steps to this forgiveness practice, you guys. It's forgiving them and then asking that you also be forgiven as well, okay? Kat says, do you ever have to do it a few times? Yeah, sometimes you'll have to do it a few times, or just imagine a stronger form of cutting. And then also with the forgiveness, like that's something that you have to do daily almost, or like any time that a feeling comes up where you're kind of like, fuck you, buddy, or you're getting a little bit angry with someone, or you're getting angry at yourself. And another part of the forgiveness too is forgiving yourself for anything that you're mad at yourself for, right? When we hold a lot of shame and guilt, we attract situations where we feel more shame and guilt. So we want to always be forgiving ourselves and forgiving others and moving forward. So that's the first step, you guys. The second step is actually going beyond forgiveness, okay? So this is going beyond the concept of right or wrong in your relationships, and asking, what am I learning from this, okay? What am I learning from this? What am I learning positively from this? And this is something that you're probably gonna want to journal on, right? Like you could write a whole page on it. So think of the relationship in question or the person that's troubling you, who's being kind of a dick or whatever it is. And just ask yourself, like, what am I learning positively from this? And operate from this perspective that things aren't just happening to you. There's always learning and growth happening, like at the soul level. So you want to ask yourself, like, hey, what am I learning from this positively, right? And so, for example, it could be something like, oh, like I'm learning to be stronger on my own, right? Like maybe you're being constantly rejected by a person, or so you feel. And what you're learning positively from that is how to not need anything from another person, right? Or it could be many things. Maybe you're developing inner strength. Maybe you're, like there's always something positive that you're learning from every so-called difficult relationship. And this is how you go beyond even forgiveness, because then when you realize that you're learning something positive from every challenging relationship, then it kind of feels fun. And then it's kind of like, oh, and you change the story of the relationship into something that is positive for you and something that's benefiting you. And then you should start to feel joy bubbling up out of your center of your being after you do this step of asking yourself, like, what am I positively learning from this? Okay, so that's step 2. And I would spend some time. I think that's step 2. Yeah. I summarized this in the title, but I can't see the title right now because I'm live. But anyway, so that's step 2, I think. Now, step 3 is going to be listing out positive aspects of the relationship that is troubling you and of the person. Okay? So you're going to want to do this in your journal as well. And you could do it like Abraham Hicks style. Abraham Hicks does what's called a focus wheel. Okay? So you can create your own focus wheel where you'll put the name of the person in the center and then do little lines out on the page and write positive things about the person or positive aspects about the relationship. And as you look for these positive aspects, you will have to find them. So even if you're dealing with like the biggest asshole-ish difficult person on earth, or so you feel, as you look for positive things about the relationship, and if you really can't find anything positive about the relationship, just go back to the last question where you asked yourself, what am I learning from this? And then start to write like, oh, well, I'm happy that I'm learning this from this relationship, right? Or like, even if you find the person totally difficult to deal with on like a human level, maybe there's a physical characteristic that you like about the person. For example, maybe, God, I hate my ex-boyfriend so much, but he sure had a perfect penis. Write that down. You gotta look for whatever you can get, right? And you gotta write that down. So you gotta be deliberate in writing down these positive aspects, okay? And you'll know that the healing has taken place when, after you've done your focus wheel and you've written out these positive aspects, you feel better about it, or you feel lighter, okay? And keep writing positive aspects until you feel fucking better about it, and do not stop until you do. This is work, okay? And this is work that most people are not willing to do because they're in too much self-righteous resentment. And guess what? Those people aren't going to heal their relationships, but you are, right? If you're watching this, and if you actually do what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that this work is easy, but I'm saying that it's worth it if you want to feel joy in your relationships. And it's really going to help you come from this perspective that everything's helping you, okay? And it will help you train your brain to see the good in everything, okay? So that's step 3, is the positive aspects, okay? This is step 4, okay? After we've done all of these things, and actually, like, you don't even have to do this in order. Like, you can do it in whatever order you fucking want. It doesn't matter. You don't have to do this in order. So step 4 is going to be soul linking. So what is soul linking? So first of all, you have a soul connection with everybody, okay? And every time you're having a difficult relationship with someone, or you're having some troubles, right? There's a soul connection in place here. And when you connect at the soul level, you'll probably see how that soul has been signed on by you to help you learn the soul lessons, right? Which you've written down on step 2. So connecting at the soul level is such a beautiful thing, because once you start to feel other people's souls and feel your own souls, you'll see that this is all part of a perfect plan for you, okay? So how to soul link? Just visualize your soul in whichever way that it comes to you. You may see your soul as like a bright, radiant light. And imagine sending the light of your soul to the other person's soul, okay? And you can imagine like a line of light coming from you and your soul, which is bright light, and just sending it out to that person's soul, right? And understand that the soul of whatever person you're dealing with is quite likely this bright, radiant light as yours is. And so that's how you soul link. You just visualize connecting soul to soul. And it's gonna look different for everybody. Everybody's soul you're gonna see different. And this is kind of like a psychic, intuitive exercise as well. This isn't something you can just write about. This is like, you make a decision, I'm going to connect my soul to your soul and affect a healing in this relationship. So that's really powerful work, okay? When you decide, hey, I'm going to connect soul to soul to this person, this is when you start to see real changes in your relationships, okay? And this is where you start to feel more love than you've ever known. Try it for yourself, okay? So that's step 4, and I have other videos in my other programs like that go more deeper into the soul linking and stuff like that. Like the jealousy course, I think, goes more deeper into that. And yeah, so now the final step, you guys. Final step. Step 5. You must detach from needing anything to change in the relationship. So when the relationship's troubling you, detaching from needing something to change can feel kind of hard. So the key is actually to be in your own joy as much as possible. Like, find something, anything to feel joyful about. And realize that in this moment, you are perfectly fine as you are. Even if asshole buddy Joe doesn't ever fucking text you back again in your life, or even if nothing changes in the relationship, right? You have to decide, okay, actually, even if nothing ever changed in this relationship, I have the ability to feel joy in this moment. I have the ability to create my dream life in this moment. So actually, it doesn't even matter if anything changes. So the reason why I did this as the final step is because we've already created the energetic changes with the other step, but now what we're doing, which is going to super speed up the manifestation of the change in the relationship, is we're saying, well, now we don't even care. And you guys know how easy it is to manifest something that you don't really care about, right? Like, it's actually, it's a lot easier to manifest when you're not really caring too much about it, right? Because then you have no resistance either. You're like, well, I don't really give a fuck if this happens, so then it happens, right? But when you have a lot of resistance around something, like you've been wanting it for so long, and you've been wanting this relationship to change for so long, and it's just not happening, and oh my God, then you have a lot of resistance, right? So it takes a lot longer. So what we're doing with this final step is just finding a way to get into joy with where you are already, okay? And once you're there, once you're really like, you know what, I've done all this stuff, and you know, quite likely just by doing the other steps, you're gonna be in this place already. So this isn't something you even have to consciously do, like you're already gonna be there. Once you're there, that's it, you let it go, okay? You let it go. Let this go and move on, and just know that it's done. And also trust in your ability to create changes in your relationships. So I'll give you a summary of the steps, you guys, and then I'm gonna pop off of here. Cause yeah, I'm leaving soon to go meet my lovely mother for dinner. I haven't seen my mom in like a few days, and I'm gonna go meet her for dinner. So here's a summary of the steps. Do this if you want to reawaken joy in any relationship, okay? So step 1 is going to be cutting ties and bringing in forgiveness, okay? Forgiving yourself, forgiving them, that's what you do. Second step is going beyond forgiveness and asking yourself, what am I learning positively from this relationship, okay? even the difficult relationships, because quite likely if we're needing a joy reactivation in a relationship, it's because it's kind of fucking difficult, right? So that's step two, step two. Asking yourself, what am I learning positively from this? Writing a list out in your journal of everything positively that you're developing in yourself and soul from this relationship. Step three is going to be making a list of positive aspects of the relationship and of that person, so that you can retrain your brain to see the good in the relationship, which will instantly bubble up joy within you. And actually the last step will start to bubble up joy within you too, because you'll see how the relationship is serving you. You're so wonderful inside and outside. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Vinay. How do I say your name? Vinaya? Thank you. So, okay, that's step three. Then step four is going to be soul linking, so sending love to the person, soul to soul. And that's how real changes occur. That's when we work at the soul level with people. And step five is going to be detaching from needing anything to change. So being in joy in the moment, being in inner peace in the moment, even if nothing changes, right? You realize that you're ultimately fine and safe, and you still get to manifest your dream life and live in joy, even if this fucking asshole person doesn't ever change towards you, right? And that's when you can really just let people be from that place and literally just be in peace no matter what. And see, once you're in that state of peace, you allow the changes to be manifested, because from that place you don't even care. Okay? So that's all I wanted to say, you guys. Try this at home. Let me know how it goes, and you will see miracles in your relationships. Okay? People that you thought could never change towards you can change towards you. But that's not why we're doing it, right? We're doing it because it feels so good to focus on love and positive aspects of other people. And it brings us into our power, and it brings us into this powerful story of seeing how everyone and everything in the entire universe is set up for us to manifest our highest good for this lifetime and learn the soul lessons required. So that's all I wanted to say, you guys. I'm gonna go for dinner with my mom now. And stay tuned this week. I'm going to be launching my new one-on-one package. It's going to be called Golden Goddess Activation. This is going to help you rewire your brain back to joy and manifest your dream life. So stay tuned for that. And remember, you came for the joy of living. Bye, guys.